My cat woke me up because the leaves are falling. He gets all excited when they come by the window. And I get to my computer and here it comes. Just the most ridiculous amount of slander yet. And I don't want anybody getting caught up in other people's drama. I just yelled at people and said, leave people alone. Let them watch who they want. Let them do what they want. Have faith and trust in your fellow man. That whole love one another as I have loved thee. So people said, but they're doxing you. You see, those are my trees. If you want to see a pretty aerial image of my roof, the only thing I don't like is there's our address. Well, phone tree, thanks for protecting us as long as you could. The listings on this, if you've been with me for any length of time, you guys have already seen all of that. But here's the biggest thing. The accusations about... I'm so sorry. She only uploads it long enough for somebody else to get it. No. The Megastore, there are a couple of them actually, made by different people. I don't know who they are. I don't know when they did. Excuse me. The first telegram was made by Synergists themselves, and everybody in our community knows that the lady who puts up the vault, that's by her own hand, and someone downloaded the X-Edumacation space already. That would be Corinne. And I haven't even been able to do that yet because I've been here working at home. And it's so insulting to our people to accuse them of being an elite hacker group. And then with everyone complaining about different things, it hasn't been our people. It's been these other people who came into our Telegram and tried to start fights. And none of us understood that because we're all so busy trying to read the diagram and come up with a better way to talk to the people we love. And the whole situation went south, and I didn't even know what was going on. I had stopped working with Non-Vaxxer because that's the person that told me not to work with him. And at that time, I didn't know what was going on. I was sold a narrative similar to that whole paper. And so instead of throwing Non-Vaxxer under the bus, I just kind of went, well, I don't know what's going on, and kept working. That wasn't good enough. The people that lied about me on the BitChute, they're listed there. The resource for those of you who are cybersecurity professionals is a satire account on the YouTube. That would be the Douche Canoe. People said, oh, Sabrina, that's a satire account. They make fun of people just to get clicks, kind of like the parody accounts on the X. Because I said, none of this is accurate. What's going on? It's a satire account. I'm like, okay. And it's mostly focused on Mark Steele. And I said way back then, I'm like, why am I being thrown in with him? I'm confused. Because it's a joke account. Oh. They're not being serious. They're literally doing their version of comedy, apparently. So that account's like, we're exposing the grifters. I'm like, no, you are grifters. I think, honkers, what you're missing here is that on the back end, we know that you're all in the same group. We don't want to waste everybody's time running down rabbit holes of who's connected to who and why. Got better things to do. We had a forward this morning from a person who is showing their children working on the digital twin systems and as part of their homeschool stuff. And that's happened a few times now. So the coloring books and our intro classes, they're really important. And I'm doing as much as I can. I'm just one person. But I think the reason that our community doesn't respond to this type of defamation is because the people that this person is defaming are you. You're the ones that made the Megastore. You're the ones that backed up videos. I don't work with anybody other than Non-Vaxxer. So if you miss a video, it's on the Synergy Rumble, courtesy of the community, not me. Now, on a more serious note, all these weird things happening in the background. I told people, I don't care who you listen to, you trust you, etc. And that's where I stand because it's a personal boundary. People trying to tell me what to do. And I don't want our community to put up with that for themselves. So why would I, you know? And when it comes to all these magic pendants, magic paperweights, I have more products that have nothing to do with this person or their people that are all on the same systems. Well, of course. So, at the end of 7C's podcast, where he was interviewing non-vaxxer, those of us in the chat, we were all like, yeah, good job, guys, and went over the 6G IOMT 2030, and we're like, yes, defining terms, definitions, woo! And even I, in Booma's chat, never saw this person come into the chat. Well, here it comes. Rage with non-vaxxer. Most of the time they angle all their rage at him. And both of us, my youngest lives here with us, and he has a daughter as well. And these people don't have children. And does that matter? I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that none of us care to be involved with their drama. And I'm going to save this now in case I have to put anything up. But I imagine the community is going to take care of this because most of the slander is against them. They're the ones who put up all the extra files, not me. And we'll see what other people do, because this person who's crafted this narrative, I think, is trying to save their business. And I don't know why you would refer to a satire YouTube account rather than your own husband. You're the same ones that said biosensors didn't exist until Dr. Chrysler showed them under the microscope. And you tried to trash me in our own Telegram. That didn't go over well. So it's really embarrassing for you. And you just don't seem to get that. I don't know why. It's not my business. Whatever, man. I haven't said anything about it because it just isn't worth it. And even in the chat, I'm not talking to you because I don't want to fight with people. I want to work with others who actually are trying to bring benefits to their community. Like Corinne and the people she's worked with, even with the Children's Health Defense, trying to help people. Dawn and Jill trying to help people who can't stand the technical. And those are called normal people. And they know how to read. And Dawn just forwarded a video because of the Facebook drama that is unending but has improved. Because anytime people come into the chat and tell you out there, oh, this terrible person, you all have been much better about, dude, I don't care what her hair looks like. I care about what the data is here. I want to know, HOW. And that's it. Yeah. And it's free. Yeah. So I have more products to go over, but I will be going back into why these people with all these different supplements as well, it's all back-ended for Healthcare 4.0 with the Internet of Medical Things, industrial Internet of Medical Things. There are no biosensors. Well, but Dr. Chrysler found them because she subscribes to Nano Magazine. Oh, okay. And then, what was the other one? Recently. Well, it's always the W-band as a bridge to the new networks that are already there and are being deployed with the forward roadmap deployment that is 6G out of the White House from our own telecommunications here in the States. Via Trump in 2019, his tweet to get 6G going, and then at the White House with some sort of order for telecommunications companies that they all agree on their standard roadmap. Yeah. Test beds and standards that goes into effect in the first quarter of next year for standardization through 2028. So that's why I tell people, keep your money. All the education is free. If you want to sing with the band and hear me thinking through history and philosophy, theosophy, and different possible applications of how some of these systems connect and other places that I have opinions on, that's $5 a month. And this is why we have the paywall, because these people have been data scraping everything the whole time because I don't charge money. And all I would ask is the best way to put out fires like this that are small is don't feed them. And mainly for your sakes out there, because they're, like I said, they're not coming after me. They can't because there's nothing. And now it is. Hang on. So, the people here on the channel know that I've been drug-free since September 2013 or October. And the white coats and my ex-husband, I got off all drugs. I've been drug-free ever since. Now, one of the other things I've talked about is I heard a few months ago there were people at the DOD all pissed off because they went and got my medical records. And they had these alleged doctors ready to sign off on what they viewed from my videos. And then they were told, I'm sorry, you are wrong. And I told people to call Social Security and get a copy because that type of cyberbullying is not appropriate. It's illegal for teenagers. What the hell are we doing as grown adults? Same doctor listed on this paper. Well, now the only drug that I had up until a couple months ago was albuterol, my inhaler. I have a rescue inhaler. Not anymore. Got cut off from all of the healthcare again. That's all I had. And when I moved here, they told me, no healthcare for you. National security. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. That was back in 2017. So now I don't have albuterol. But according to your narrative driver over there, albuterol can cause, I think it said, hallucinations or something. So if you guys have asthma and you have an inhaler, you're a drug addict and you're hallucinating. So be careful. I'm being silly. I'm not being serious. I'm kind of embarrassed because it's so horribly pulled together, but for them. But at the same time, this is the same group of people on the back end, like I said. So I would prefer that our community does not focus on any of it. Just keep moving. Like Dokudo said, all of us are very busy trying to be helpful with biofield practice and updated mitigation with that. We just got done with ITU biotelemetrics, which is vital signs through the phone lines. And I need to take us back to the 1700s to revisit electromyograms, I think it is, muscle electricity through the phone. And we, as a community, this is why I was so furious with these same people who don't like Tory, apparently, continuing to come in and try to make drama in our community where nobody cares. We don't want to hate on anybody. We're not interested. We're just busy learning, trying to figure out what we can do. And they just want to talk about themselves. It's always about them. It's never about the real issues. So if there were no biosensors, according to these same people, that's because they're selling a product. We found that now multiple times. And if the W band is all there is, there's no other networks. Okay, computer networking doesn't work that way. Since ARPANET, all right? The military has to have a network that other people can't get to for cybersecurity. So the networks are there. They are being deployed and standardized in the wide open. And in the ITU document, biotelemetrics, it says that the working groups for special committee are reviewed every 4 years for that particular set of committees and groups. And that makes sense with the everything, the forward deployment roadmaps, the R&D, the standardization, the test beds, the ISO standards. It's an engineered system. And anybody who's paying annually to be a member of the IEEE, they know all this. So to continue trying to throw me under the bus and non-vaxxer and our entire community, why would you do that? If you really believe in Jesus so hard and you really believe that people need to know, I mean, weren't they just doing their biodigital convergence thing on SGT again? Cool. Do you ever hear me say anything? Nope, because I said, whoever it is, if they're giving you appropriate terminology, and they took their slideshows from our channel a year and a half ago or so, but they're doing their own thing, and people send it to me. I never watch it because I'm like, whatever. Good, it's out there. I have more terminology. And then if you talk to somebody and they saw it, they'll know what you're talking about. That's it. That's how I look at it. So I'm not telling anybody what to do other than don't give this any energy, please. That's the only thing I would ask, because it's negative and it's nasty. And whatever that Medium article is about, there are children wrapped up in this. It's the nature of doxing people like this. And I don't have any communication with my family for a while. That doesn't change their squad numbers and all the history and medical records. But I do have a half-sister who's just below, in other words, still a teenager with my dad and my stepmom. And that's what part of what was in that Medium article I haven't been able to read because it's behind a paywall fully. So that's why, on behalf of my youngest, non-vaxxer's daughter, and my dad's, or my half-sister, I would just ask that people pay no mind to this kind of stuff. And for those of you, if you do for some reason go, oh, please go to a synergist that's been in the Telegram for a while, or even on the Ko-Fi or Fourth Wall or whatever, and they will forward you to the records posts. There's over 6 hours of them, because they did this to me on the daily. And I stuck it out, and somebody mentioned recently, they said, wow, Sabrina, you've had to put up with a lot of bullying. Yes. They don't want people to know that these systems are there because they're going full-on bioelectronic medicine with their wellness company friends. All of them now are peddling these different quantum products. Yeah, that's the Internet of Bio-Nano things with the terahertz spectrum. It's in Dr. Chrysler's Mazagine. You know, you could just sell a product that works, right? You could just do something helpful rather than yell at us. But whatever. Don't get involved. Have a great day. And I just feel really sorry for people that do things like this, to be quite honest. Because if you could invest all that energy somewhere else in a positive way for yourself, things will go a lot better for you. But they seem to be, because again, this is the same grouping of people, the Ashley Ho, the InfoWars backend, whatever it is, and so they claim, and the rest of them. I don't know why they're doing this, but they obviously feel threatened. It isn't by me. It's by you. All of you out there that choose to read exactly the way Dawn mentioned. They have a much more difficult time when you have a bunch of educated people. Just like people talk about philosophy-wise in relation to George Orwell. I had a George Carlin quote the other day about this. They don't want people who are educated. They want people who are submissive and afraid all the time. And I think that's why they use regurgitated platitudes and scripture, and then you don't actually realize what's deployed or what's being worked on in colleges. Well, that's by design, as I've explained, because businesses don't like transparency in general. Big business, too. But I don't, other than that, I don't know why they're going to such great lengths to lie like that. It doesn't bother me on that level. I'm trying to be as gentle about this as I can, because I want everybody to just take a breath. These are people I worked very hard to help. And when I discerned with other cybersecurity folks as well, I'm like, hey, these things don't work the way you claim. I tested it here at home. The moment I tried to talk about my test results, that's when they nuked our Telegram and started all this a long time ago. So please don't get involved. If you feel the need to get involved, because, and I know that's another reason, using my name for clout, which is really gross coming out of my mouth because I don't want to be popular. That's a whole separate topic on the fourth wall I need to talk to people about, but whatever. I'm hopeful that more of our people like Dawn and Jill and Solana and Clarity will continue to shine on their own, doing their own really cool things to help inspire other people. That is the best for me. It isn't about me. It's about everybody. And all of us who can take back our anatomy and put the science back of our immune system for real. They're using it with bioelectronic medicine, but they want everybody else scared to death of sky deities of one kind or another. That's disgusting. So they can sell a product. Okay, if your product is that good, you're not worried about any of that. And if you're that busy with your business, you ain't got time for all this. Hope that makes it simple enough for everybody. Mark 5:36, amen. Have a great day, y'all.